Welcome everyone. Today I'll be discussing how I made my first vegetable beds. I am an amateur gardener, and the reason I started gardening was to get connected with nature and also get my kids engaged outside rather than playing video games. This is how I did it. Last year, as I knew I would be gardening, so I started collecting different materials to lay the basis of my garden. When I did my research on gardening, I found out that there's a lot of weeding and all those things to be done. I'm a very lazy gardener, so I doubt I would be doing that. Came across no-dig gardening, and I fell in love with it. So I thought that I will give it a try. So this is how I did it. I'm hoping you would have watched the previous 2 videos on how I covered the grass with cardboard boxes, and then on top of that I spread mulch or wood chips. The card boxes I got for free. The wood chips I also got for free. I called one of the arborists and they were more than happy to dump a truckload. All I had to do was to bring it in. I also knew that I would be making garden beds, so I would need wooden planks, and I kept on searching for different wooden planks. If you buy it, it costs a lot. So I came across this axe throwing place who were throwing their wooden planks for free, and they were more than happy to give it to me. So I got a bunch of that as well, and you should watch the previous video on how I used both of those to establish the basis for my garden. I sat down and I drew a rough map of what I wanted to do. So this orange line is the borders of my garden. This is the patio. I also developed a place covered by greenhouse plastic, and I thought that it will work as a greenhouse, but soon I found out that it is not heated, so it still works, but I now use it just to cover my seedlings from frost. This is the east, this is south, north, and west. I also wanted to attract a lot of natural predators, so a pond. This is the place where I will be having compost, and you can watch my video on compost. Plant a few fruit shrubs or trees over here. I will be planting a lot of flowers around the pond. Do a grape vine over here. All these areas will be garden beds. It's approximately 1.5 and 8 feet. On this side I will be planting some bushes, maybe raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. The way I made a garden bed was, first I placed the wooden planks that I obtained from the axe throwing place on the borders. The base of the bed, I removed all the wooden chips as much as I could to avoid nitrogen trapping. As you might all be aware of, fresh wood chips will rob nitrogen from the plants. If you plant on top of it and put compost on top of it, it will rob the plants from nitrogen. I removed the wood chips and then I applied fall leaves, a very thin layer, natural insulator, and will enrich the soil as they decompose. I needed a lot of compost. So I did research and I found out that, well, compost can be very, very expensive. That's why I wanted to make my own, but in the first year, I didn't have enough. So what I did was I started searching for cheap compost and found out that my county has a public composting facility where they make compost. Of course, it is not a fully finished product, but it was very cheap, about $22 a yard. I went over there and I've got few yards of it, and then I started applying it on my beds. beds, I intend to grow a lot of tomatoes, strawberries, mustard greens, all kinds of salads, radishes, carrots, cucumbers, zucchinis, and a lot more. And I'll be happily sharing my journey as I plant all these vegetables. So follow along and let's grow together.